Hi, I'm Vanessa Kynes and I'm a Pinterest marketing strategist for creative small businesses. On my page, you'll find Pinterest tips for your creative business. Today's video is all about my Pinterest workflow. I believe that Pinterest should be a time-saving, traffic-generating tool and shouldn't eat into your busy entrepreneurial life. In this tutorial, I'll share my publish to pin workflow using Tailwind. Tailwind is an Instagram and Pinterest scheduler that I use every single day for my clients. Let's conquer the overwhelm together and automate your Pinterest marketing strategy. Hi, so I'm going to show you how my Pinterest workflow. So how I go from publish to pin. And what I mean is when I publish a blog post, what I do to share my content on Pinterest. So this is a recent blog post I wrote. It's on how to use Pinterest to grow your email list and audience. And I'm going to show you my exact workflow. So the first thing I would do, and I just want to point out, I actually have 2 pins per post. I try to do that I'm creating 2 pins because I want them to have different visuals. So this one has pink and gray, and this one's a little bit modern and uses different language and different call to actions. And the reason why I do that is because you really actually never know which one is going to perform better on Pinterest, and it's a good idea to create separate pins that will lead back to your content. So that's just a side tip. The first thing that I like to do is to go ahead and actually pin it to Pinterest. So I'm going to click on the pin, and I have personal boards and group boards that I participate on Pinterest. And the first place I want to go to is my personal board. So my personal board is called My Blog at vanessakynes.com. You'll see it right here. And I would save that. I don't want to actually save this because I've already saved this content, but you would click on save and add that to Pinterest. And I would do the same thing with this pin right here, save it to my board. And the reason why you want to do that is you want to get it published on Pinterest and ready to be shared. If you have followers, they're going to see this pin. This is my most active board. So even by pinning this right now, you're going to get visibility and views. So then I want to go to Pinterest and go grab that pin that I just pinned to my board. So go to your Pinterest and go to boards and go to the board that is your personal board. And that personal board, I just want to add, is only filled with your content. So that if someone discovers you on Pinterest, they're going to be able to see what content that you've published. So as you can see, it's taking time to load, and there we go. So here was the pin that I just pinned, and here was the other pin. Now, I'm going to move the screen so that you can see. The next thing I'm going to do is create a schedule on Tailwind and drip out the content. So I'm going to click on the blue flame, which if you haven't downloaded this, you can find this on the home page. It's the extension and under publish. So go to the left side, click on your scheduled pins, and then you'll see a little area for extension. And I'm using this on Chrome. You can use it on Firefox or Safari. And what it does is it allows you to schedule pins from the browser. So we just published this one, and I think it's down here. Okay, so click the 2 pins that you just published, and you're gonna schedule them by going down to here and clicking on Go Schedule. Great, so we have the 2 pins, and the thing I really like about Pinterest Tailwind, is that it allows you to add board lists. And so board lists are designed in Tailwind, and you can create all the boards that are relevant to a subject. So for example, social media or Pinterest, and you just with one click can assign it to multiple boards. So I'm going to teach you a little trick. If you wanted to put these pins in all your Pinterest boards, you could do that. But let me show you how I specifically drip out my content. So I am going to choose Pinterest and my pins. And what this is going to do is send these pins to these boards at a determined time. If you were to just click add to queue now, what it would do is it would fill it with any open space, and it wouldn't lock down that pin, meaning if you were to shuffle your Tailwind board, it wouldn't actually be locked down for that time. Now, I think it's really important to have like a dripping out style content. And so what you're going to do is you're going to add, you're going to create an interval. And so it's going to tell you this schedule first pin at December 5th because that's the first open spot I have available in my queue. I'm actually about a month out for scheduling my content, which is another reason why I really love Tailwind. But I'm going to come back up to the day it is when you're publishing your content. And so that's November 12th, and I'm going to click that. Great. So now it says November 12th. And I like to schedule my pins out one per day. And the reason why I do that is just that the content has an opportunity to like go out. It doesn't seem spammy. I'm not like publishing it all at once. I recommend if you have something that you really want to get out quickly, you could do every 8 hours if it's a holiday thing. So if I were to schedule this out one a day and I had 50 boards, it would take 50 days to spread out. And that's not really helpful if it's holiday because the holiday might be over. So you could choose any amount of time you want. I like to go with one day. And then you come down here to open slots. So that's only going to schedule it at any time you have an open slot in your queue. Now, I have scheduled out for the most of November. And so the next time I have an open slot is December 5th. I don't want that. I don't want that huge gap to separate my next pin. So I'm going to click on Optimized. And Optimized is when Tailwind believes that your audience is most likely to be on Pinterest. It's an awesome part of Tailwind. It's a smart strategy because it's going to get your pins pinned at the optimal time. So I usually choose Optimize. You can choose Exact, which is basically going to push it out every day, exactly 24 hours. But I go with Optimize. And then you click Set Interval, and you would click Schedule Now. Now, I don't want to click Schedule Now because I've actually already scheduled this content, but you would do that. Okay, I want to come up to here. So these two pins actually lead to the same blog post, and they have very different call to actions. They even have, look, this one's a little bit more feminine and cozy, and this one's a little bit more contemporary and bright, and even a longer pin, which is a good way to test out which pins perform better. So what I'm going to do is I clicked on social media first and then my pins for this other pin. I'm going to click on my pins and then social media. So those board lists are going to populate. And so what you're going to see is on the first day, it's going to pin to the social media strategy board and then so on and so on. This pin is going to start out in my media kit board, then blogging resources, and so on and so on. And the reason why you want to do that is at the same time that this pin is going out on November 12th and 13th, etc., this pin is going to be going out to separate boards, which helps you prevent spamming somebody or spamming a certain board, but also just gets extra visibility. You're spreading out all over Pinterest and reaching different types of audiences. So I would do the same thing here. I would use an interval. I would come up to November 12th and I would select an interval amount one day, click on Optimize. That's really important to remember, set interval, and schedule now. Now, the third thing I do in my Pinterest workflow, the first thing was I schedule it or I pin directly to Pinterest. The second thing I do is drip out my content using interval scheduling. The third thing I do is I add it to tribes. So you just click on Add to Tribes and you would choose which tribes to add this pin. Now, if you have different types of content, you're going to have to carefully think about which pin this would fit in. But mine are all pretty much social media related, so I would select them, etc. And I just want to point out the red exclamation point means that I've already pinned this particular pin to that board. And it actually tells you that I pinned it 5 days ago. So I wouldn't want to add it again because that would be also kind of spammy. And so you want to be considerate of tribes and the owners and make sure you're not pinning the same content to that board. Maybe pick a 3-month period, a 6-month period, or look at the tribe rules. They might have a specific amount of time where you can repin content. So after you would add them to which tribes, you would click on add to the tribes, and those would show up in the tribes. So basically that's my workflow. And the reason why I do it like this is it's just important to, one, obey group boards and tribe boards rules. You don't want to come off as spammy, but also what I've done is created an interval. Let's come here and I'll show you. Come over here to scheduled pins. What I've done is create an interval of a queue that constantly has my content dripping out so that it's staying active and I'm drawing in viewers at different times. And I think that's just a really important way to stay active. So you can see I've got this content. Here's one actually when I pinned that one originally. It's going to go out today at 6:45 p.m. and there probably will be one tomorrow at around 6:45 p.m. And it's just constantly going out. It's working hard for you. I really believe in the mantra to work smarter and not harder, and I think Tailwind helps you achieve that. Now I can walk away. If you see my queue over here, I can walk away and know that I'm actively pinning with Tailwind, which is a Pinterest partner. And so they have a partnership that's recognized. And I'm an active pinner pinning content that's mine and as well as related niche content. So that's what I do. The three things are I pin it to Pinterest, my personal boards, I schedule an interview, and then I add it to Tribes. And that is my Pinterest workflow. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and happy pinning. Thank you.